Hello, everyone, and welcome to EDACT's Juneteenth 2025. It's such a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you for joining us today. We're so happy to have you here. We're so happy to see you, and we're happy to be here. Thank you so much. Before we begin, let's take a moment of silence, just 1 minute, to honor the memory of Speaker Emerita Melissa and her husband, Mark Hotman. May their legacy continue to inspire and guide us. We also extend our heartfelt prayers for the full and swift recovery of Senator John Hoffman and his beloved wife, Yvette. The steadfast pillar of support for our shared mission at the Minnesota legislature. So let's take a moment of silence and we'll be back shortly. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us on this. Once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the year 2025 Juneteenth celebration. This is EDACT's way of, celebrating with you this very important celebration for us as a race. Thank you so much, Equitable Development Action, for putting together an innovative program like this for us to be able to bring to fore a conversation that resonates so much with us as a people and as a race. Today is a day for us to reflect, is a day for us to remember, and one more thing, it's a day for us to reignite our commitment to freedom, to justice, and to equity. My name is Temi, and I'm honored to be your host today on this special celebration edition with Equitable Development Action, EDACT. All right, so let's jump right into it. Today's theme, if you've been following us on our social media platforms, as you would have seen, is celebrating liberation through economic empowerment. I'll take that again. Celebrating liberation through economic empowerment. Okay, Juneteenth is not just a commemoration of emancipation. That is, it's not just about coming to celebrate our freedom as a race. It's a reminder for us that true liberation comes with ownership. Is it really liberation if you don't own your thing? It also comes with access and it comes with opportunity. This Juneteenth, we honor the legacy of freedom by investing in the future through entrepreneurship, workforce development, wealth building, and equitable opportunity for everyone. Liberation is not just a moment in history. It's not just one day you want to tick on a calendar in the year to say, okay, this is the day that liberation took place, but it's a continuing movement towards justice and self-determination. At EDACT, we believe that economic empowerment is foundational to lasting freedom, okay? And through our collective efforts as an organization and as a community, we are doing our best to inch closer and closer every day to a future where justice, dignity, and prosperity can be shared by every one of us. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Moving us along in our event of today, this very special edition with EDACT, we'll be going into a conversation about what economic empowerment looks like today. I know that there are so many other, should I say, conversations that might actually tilt our understanding of what economic empowerment looks like. It might not just be about having that money in your pocket, or you have the money in your bank account, or you can just, pick up your money and get anything you want. So we want to actually focus this conversation on what it looks like in today's world. And I'll be bringing up my colleague, Leah, who would be joining us in this conversation. Leah, please. Okay. Leah will be joining us in this conversation where we'll be talking about what economic empowerment means to us as a person, personally, or what it means to us as a Black community. What are the barriers that we might be experiencing as a race? Some of the steps that we can take individually or collectively to, bring about financial liberation. And finally, we will also be bringing to fore what EDACT as an organization does to play a role in this movement. All right, I will be bringing Leah up right about now. Hi, Leah. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Tammy. Good
Thank you
afternoon. How
so
you
much
doing?
for joining. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Great. I'm sure you've been following the conversation from the beginning. All right. So,
Yes.
yes, thank you very much. So, I'm excited to hear from you and what you have to say about what economic empowerment looks like today for us as individuals and as a Black community. So, my first question to you, Leah, moving us along so we don't waste much of our time here. What does economic empowerment mean to you personally as an individual? What is this concept to you?
All right. Thank you, Tammy. To me, I would say economic empowerment means having the right knowledge, tools, opportunity to make confident decisions and build long-term security. Right? It's more than just making an income or having an income. It's about access to resources, access to education, ownership and networks that can support you, and not just you or your goals, but networks that can support your family and also support your community. When you are economically empowered, I believe that you can move from being a survivor to being to having sustainability and eventually being able to build a legacy. Yes, thank you, Tim. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I'm sure that our followers or our audience are actually following this conversation and will understand from what Leah has just explained to us that it's what economic empowerment means is a body of things. It's not just one thing, which she already mentioned. It's not about having just an income. So you are not economically empowered just because you have an income. But when you have access to knowledge, you have access to tools, you have access to opportunities, resources, education. So it's a body of things that you need access to that actually bring you into a place of economic empowerment. Thank you so much for that profound explanation, Leah. So, my second question to you is what is economic empowerment? I mean, why is economic empowerment especially vital for Black communities today? For us as a community, why is it especially vital for us?
All right. Thank you, Themi, for that question. So I would say because for too long, right, Black communities, we've been systematically excluded from wealth building opportunities, from
Yes.
redlining to wage gaps, limited access to capital. Economic empowerment is our path to reclaiming agency, creating our own tables and investing in our futures, right? It's also a way to challenge generational poverty and replace it with generational wealth, right? In this post George Floyd era, we are not just calling for justice. We are building the systems that make equity real.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much. I
Timmy.
love the last statement you made. You said we're building systems that make equity real. So equity is not just some myth or some farce or something that just exists on paper, but something that we can actually bring into reality for us as a race. And we need this for our future. Thank you so much. My third question to you, what barriers still exist for us and how do we overcome them? So I'm sure that the fact that we're having this conversation today is because we are still experiencing some barriers despite all of the advocacy or the conversations that have been brought forward to change the situation. So we can see that these barriers still exist. So now that we know for a fact that they exist, how do we overcome them?
Okay, thank you, Temi. So there are still major barriers like lack of access to capital, financial literacy gaps, and limited representation in decision-making spaces. So many of these are rooted in systemic racism, but we need to overcome them by investing in education, mentoring, policy change, and supporting institutions, right, that center around equity. So what we do at EDACT is that we tackle these barriers through training, advocacy, and helping people and organizations grow. So because change happens when capacity meets opportunity. Thank you, Temi.
Thank you so much, um, Leah. This conversation has been really impactful, and it's short, but we can actually pick the main points that we are trying to pass across, and that's the most important part of this conversation, for us to be able to communicate really briefly but profoundly what we are trying to pass across. So my fourth question is, what are some practical steps that individuals can take for them to work toward financial liberation?
All right, Temi. So, firstly, I would say educate yourself. Learn about credit, budgeting, and investing, even just the basics, and pass that knowledge on. And secondly, I would say that build a plan, right? Create a savings or debt repayment plan. No matter how small it is, the goal is to remain consistent. And lastly, I will also say connect with resources. Use platforms like the EDACT Training Academy to attend financial workshops. You don't have to do it alone, and that's why we are here for you. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The first thing which you said, educate yourself. I know that this is, we've talked about barriers that exist. Why I would like to put this as a barrier also. The fact that many people don't want to educate themselves. Maybe it seems like a lot of work, or it seems like it's going to take too much time, and we keep falling into financial pitfalls by not knowing what we ought to do, when we ought to do these things. So it's very important to educate yourself. This is something that concerns everybody. The issue of credit, how to budget your income or your expenditure. Do we invest, which is very important? Many people just earn, but they don't invest. And the problem is not even the fact that they don't invest, but they don't know how to invest and what to invest in. So education plays a big role, which I'm going to link it to the last point, which is to connect with resources. So one thing you must understand is EDACT has a training academy platform where we've been able to host a number of courses whereby you can actually learn at your own pace. We currently have financial literacy workshops going on the training academy, which you can actually even get a certificate for. This is one of the ways you can actually, build yourself and educate yourself in matters that concern you economically. Finally, we've already touched on that, but I would just like you to expound more on that. So, how do community institutions like EDACT play a role in this movement?
All right, thank you, Temi, for that question. I would say EDACT plays a vital role in being the bridge between knowledge and access, and between underserved communities and opportunity, right? We don't just talk about equity, we build it through programs that develop capacity, support businesses and non-profits, and we also deliver real tools for financial growth. We don't just exist, right? We exist to ensure that our communities are not just included, but also well equipped. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So we can see from here that EDACT is actually playing a very huge role in this movement, especially considering the fact that we actually place a lot of priority on the underserved communities. We are trying to bridge that gap, so you can consider Equitable Development Action as that bridge builder between knowledge and access. We talked about access to opportunity, access to education, access to a lot of things, capital, and also EDAX is actually bridging this gap in this movement. So we're not just all talk, we actually do the work. And like Leah said, we are existing to ensure that our communities are not only included, but we are also equipped as we ought to. Once again, thank you so much, Leah. This has been a wonderful conversation with you, and I appreciate all the knowledge that you have brought to fore in this conversation. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Temi, for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, moving on, we're going to take a moment to celebrate our own, the Black-owned businesses, the visionaries, and the change makers in our community who actually embody economic freedom every day. So, in a short while, we're going to bring this to our attention. Thank you very much.
Juneteenth marks more than emancipation. It's a declaration of potential, of power, of possibility. But true liberation, that comes when Black communities own the tools of their future, own the businesses, own the land, own the legacy. Today, we honor the resilience of Black entrepreneurs who rise, not just to survive, but to build, to heal, and to lead. Because when Black-owned businesses thrive, communities thrive, generations shift, and freedom deepens. See, que pasa?
Thank you so much. This is just our way of recognizing the people that are actually breaking these barriers, who are actually seeing the vision, not just for now, but for the future, and they're actually actively making changes in our community for our economic freedom. Thank you so much for joining us on that. So I'm going to be bringing Leah once again on the stage. Would like to hear from our audience, those of you that have been following us since the beginning. Would like to hear from you. It's not, we just don't want to talk at you. We want to actually get feedback from you. So I'll be bringing Leah up to take this.
Hi, Temi. Thank you. All right, so it's time. We want to hear from our audience. We want to hear from you, and please, I'll be asking you questions. Kindly drop them in the comment or the chat box so we can hear what you think about these questions. Thank you so much for joining in. So I'll be asking. My first question is, what does economic freedom mean to you? What does economic freedom means to you? What does economic freedom means to you? That's my first questions. I would like you to drop your answers in the chat box or the comment section. What does economic freedom means to you? And my second question is, how has EDACT supported your financial growth? How has EDACT supported your financial growth? And also, my third question is, what's one financial or business goal you are working on? Yes, we want to hear from you. So please drop your answers in the comments or your chat box. All right, so I'll be bringing up Anita. To answer one of the questions for us. Anita, I can see you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Hi, Anita, I can hear you. Happy Juneteenth. Good to
Happy
have you here.
Juneteenth. Good to
I
have
wish
you,
you the
Tammy.
same.
Good to have you, Leah. Good to have everyone else that is watching and joining us from all over the world. I would say that EDACT has been very instrumental in helping me to understand, my finances. I would like to take a time to talk about the financial literacy program in association with Stens Bank, which I think is a very beautiful program that has really expatiated my mind. Knowledge, they say, is power, and knowledge helps you, just like you mentioned, about educating oneself about economic empowerment and how best to go about building wealth. So I would really want to say a big shout out to EDACT for expanding my mind every time we have an opportunity to talk to the good people of Stens Bank, and to also mention that there are a lot of fantastic programs that EDACT also runs. In fact, they recently completed a research project, on economic they just look at economic empowerment and all of that good stuff. So I would say that with the way that EDACT is so intentional and deliberate in helping people of color, the Black people, indigenous people to understand how to go about their finances is very laudable. And I would really invite everyone to go through the website, go through the programs, and see all the beautiful things that EDACT has for them. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you. Like Anita has mentioned, she talked about how EDAT has helped her in terms of attending the financial literacy workshop. We had one yesterday, and it was power packed. Like it was so filled with lots of knowledge, right? So you can also tune in, follow us on all social media platforms. So you can get our latest updates about these workshops, and also check our training academic for resources that can help you. Oh, all right. Thank you for your time, Anita. Good to have you. And I'm seeing some answers in the comment. Akin Bobola Obanijesu mentioned that, economic freedom to me means the ability to make my own economic choices. Oh, wow. That is really profound. The ability to make my own economic choices, which is very correct. Thank you. I'm still on the questions. What does economic freedom means to you? How has EDA supported your financial goals, which Anita has answered for us? And lastly, what's one financial or business goal you are currently working on? I'm going to be bringing on Chair. So, what's one financial or business goal you are working on? So, please, we want to know what you are up to. We are moving into the second half of the year. Kindly share with us what's one financial business goal you are currently working on. Oh, back to my questions. Timileyin Adeyemi mentioned that, to me, economic freedom means having the ability to make choices without being limited by financial constraints. Wow, interesting. Whether that's starting a business or investing in my future or just going on vacation. Yeah. It's about stability, ownership, and the power to shape your own path. Wow, that's deep. The ability, ownership, and stability, and the power to shape your own path. That's truly profound. Thank you, Timileyin, for your answer. So, guys, drop your answers in the chat box or the comment section. I'm still waiting. What's one financial or business goal you are working on currently?
Oh yeah, we have more comments. I can see Abraham here. It says economic empowerment means having the tools, systems, and knowledge to earn a sustainable income without needing to compromise who I am. I really, really love that. I really love that. Then we have David as well, who said, to me, economic freedom means ownership and control. And that's just it for David. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you. So we're bringing up Chair to answer. Oh, I also have from Jerry. To me, economic freedom is the quiet assurance that my effort matters, that I can plant a seed and God willing be the one to harvest its fruit. I pray you harvest your fruits. It's the right of dignity in deciding my own tomorrow. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, we have Chair here. Welcome, Chair. Good to have you.
So, one of the business goals I've been working on
Mm,
recently is to hedge against the inflation and be able to have high interest saving as against just saving my money in financial institutions that yield little interest. So most of the financial institutions, one of the things I did was carry out a research based off on the financial literacy program I had attended with EDA, and I had found a couple of financial institutions that had high interest savings of up to 12 between 12 to 22% at the end of the year. So that investing my money is to hedge against that level of inflation has been one of the financial goals that I've been able to work on. Also having to also invest in little startups that are able to yield additional source of incomes for my financial empowerment. So that's been pretty much part of the financial goals that I've been working on recently. And it's all thanks to EDA.
Thank you, Chia. Thank you for joining me. So you mentioned that he's been planning, saving and also investing, which is a good one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you, everyone. Shout out to everyone that was able to drop a comment. And I mean, that showed us that the conversation, we had a lot of people following what we were actually discussing. Thank you so much, Timileyin. Thank you, Chia, for coming. Thank you, Anita, for coming. David, Abraham, Jerry. Thank you all so much. If I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry, but thank you very much. Thank you, Leah. All right. So moving on, I would say that this conversation has been really robust. And if you're feeling inspired today by the conversation that we've just had so far and hearing from everyone that joined this live session, don't let it stop here. Okay, so you can actually join one of our upcoming programs or the programs that we might have done in the past that we have housed on our training academy. You can actually join our workshops or business programs. One thing that EDACT does actually is to offer resources. We are always big on offering resources, coaching, training, as much as possible to help small businesses to start, to grow, and as well as to thrive. Thank you so much once again. So if you'd like to continue this conversation with us, you can visit our website or follow us on our social media platforms to stay plugged in. The details will be dropped in the comment. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, and we're as well on YouTube. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you can find us at Equitable Development Action, and on YouTube as well, Equitable Development Action. So please, you can you can drop your comments on our posts, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to have you there, and we would love to continue this conversation with you. It doesn't have to stop here. If you would like to support as well, you can check out our donation and resource links in the chat, or it will be displayed on the screen. Okay. All right. So like we said earlier, liberation is not just a moment in history. Okay, it's a movement, and a movement doesn't stop. You know, we're on track, and we're trying our best as much as possible, and as an organization, to actually keep ourselves grounded in this move, and to actually establish ourselves as a voice in this movement. We've said this earlier that we are servicing the underserved, and this is what we want to do. This is what we want to keep doing, and we are not going to stop. We won't stop. Okay, and this as an organization, we have the commitment to build generational wealth, equity, and self-determination, because, well, at the end of the day, all of these things we are talking about, you need to have some grit within you. You need to have some push from within for yourself. Okay, and I'd like to say thank you for spending part of your Juneteenth with us. Okay, keep showing up for yourself. Show up for your economic power, show up for your finances, show up for your family, show up for your community, show up for this Black community. And I would also say that you should keep building and keep believing in our collective power. Okay, thank you so much. I have recited our social media platform handles again, but just for emphasis, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. You can find us at Equitable Development Action. like, share, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And by the way, do you want to just reach out to us directly at our email address? You can reach us at support@edact.org. Support@edact.org. And you can also support us by donating to the cause that we are currently on right now. So thank you so much once again for joining us. It's been a beautiful time. I had a good time. I hope you did too. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for spending your Juneteenth with EDACT. This is This is Juneteenth with EDACT 2025. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our guests for coming on the show as well. Thank you to Anita, my co-host. This was great. Thank you so much. Thank you, EDAX, for putting this together. All right, on this note, I'm going to close this conversation today, but you can carry on in your homes. Thank you so much and have a good evening. Bye, everyone.
Juneteenth, celebrating Black ownership and resilience. Juneteenth is more than a celebration of emancipation. It's a powerful testament to the potential, resilience, and possibility within Black communities. This spotlight highlights 5 remarkable Black-owned businesses and Black-led projects, each embodying the spirit of ownership and legacy. From bookstores fostering cultural hubs to initiatives driving economic equity, these stories reflect the strength of Black entrepreneurs who rise not just to survive, but to build, heal, and lead. Black Visions Collective, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Black Visions Collective, a Black-led movement in Minneapolis, advances Black power through strategic campaigns like defunding punitive systems and reinvesting in community safety. Through mutual aid, food drives, and housing support, they empower communities, confront systemic inequities, and foster collective resilience, reflecting a powerful shift toward community-led change and self-determination for Black Minnesotans. The Lit Bar, Bronx, New York. The Lit Bar, founded by Noel Santos in the Bronx, is the borough's only independent bookstore, serving 1.5 million residents. More than a bookstore, it's a cultural hub that fosters community pride and intellectual empowerment through author talks, book clubs, and events that uplift Black voices and stories. BLK and Bold, Des Moines, Iowa. Founded in Des Moines by Pernell Cesar and Rod Johnson, BLK and Bold is a Black-owned coffee brand using its success to drive social impact. By donating 5% of profits to causes like youth homelessness and supporting initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, the company uplifts vulnerable youth while promoting Black entrepreneurship and economic self-sufficiency through national retail distribution. BLK and Bold embodies a vision of thriving communities built through ownership and purpose-driven business. Kibo, New York. Founded by Nana Quigrain in New York, 54 Kibo brings contemporary African home decor to global markets by partnering with artisans across the continent. The brand celebrates African heritage while creating sustainable economic opportunities, empowering communities through fair trade and international exposure. 54 Kibo reflects the power of cultural ownership, aligning with a vision of global recognition and Black entrepreneurial possibility. Black Girl Ventures in Washington, D.C. Black Girl Ventures, founded by Shelley Bell and based in Washington, D.C., empowers Black and brown women entrepreneurs by providing access to capital, mentorship, and networks. Through pitch competitions and community-driven support, the nonprofit tackles the funding gap and fuels economic equity, helping build generational wealth and community empowerment, embodying the vision of freedom through ownership. We call on everyone to support Black-owned businesses and projects today and every day to strengthen the tools of our collective future businesses, land, and legacy. By investing in these endeavors, we amplify the resilience and vision of Black entrepreneurs who build thriving communities and shift generations.